What do you think about when you think of New Zealand?
When I hear New Zealand, I personally think of the hiking trails that are over there and how beautiful it is. You know, the scenery is amazing and the people are nice.
Sheep.
Sheep.
And Lord of the Rings.
Perfect.
And do you know of any products that come from New Zealand?
No, really don't. Wool?
What do you think of when you think of New Zealand?
Sheep. Sheep. Sheep.
Sheep. I think I would think of sheep.
It's next to Australia.
There's more sheep than people. There we go.
Good.
Thank you so much.
I actually went there.
Oh, really? And did you like it?
8 years ago, yeah. Yeah, I liked it a lot. Did a lot of outdoor hiking stuff, yeah. Had a good time. It rained the whole time I was there.
Really?
But,
were you in Auckland or where, like up north? Or?
I went all over.
All over. Okay,
yeah.
wow.
It was fun.
Pretty
it was
cool.
a lot of fun.
Did you do any bungee jumping?
No, I don't do that. I did some like land luging thing on some paved ski slope. That was pretty cool. That was fun. But the hiking was excellent. Yeah.
Really?
Did you go back?
Oh yeah, definitely.
How were the people?
Oh, really nice. Very nice.
Friendly? Just like
I heard about some singer named Kamal. Like, I don't know, he's real popular down there. Like, not really stuff I listen to, but he had some of the funniest record covers you could ever imagine.
Really?
But yeah, it was cool. It was fun. Oh, no problem, man.
Glenn, what do you think of when you think of New Zealand?
I think of extreme sports and sheep.
New Zealand's population is about 4.1 million people and about 40 people per square mile. New Zealand's made up of about 2 islands, about the size of Colorado, so it's not really a huge country. The highest point in New Zealand is Mount Cook, and it stands at a whopping 12,316 feet. Half of New Zealand is comprised of meadows and pastures, which might explain the abundance of sheep. In fact, Queenstown is adequately nicknamed the adrenaline capital of the world because bungee jumping was invented there. The natural resources in New Zealand are natural gas, iron ore, sand, coal, timber, hydropower, gold, and limestone. The capital of New Zealand is Wellington.
New Zealand was declared a dominion in 1907 from the UK. It adopted a parliamentary democracy. The Constitution of 1986 was adopted and effective in January of 1987. It is the governing law for New Zealand. New Zealand currently has the first woman prime minister they've ever had, by the name of Helen Clark. The head of state is Queen Elizabeth II. The New Zealand flag is blue with the flag of the UK in the upper hoist quadrant, with 4 red 5-pointed stars edged the outer half of the flag. The stars represent the Southern Cross constellation. The unofficial bird of New Zealand is the kiwi. In November of 2002, the Save the Kiwi Trust was established by Helen Clark.
New Zealanders respect people who are honest, direct, and demonstrate a sense of humor. A little small talk is acceptable when conducting business with New Zealanders. They are interested in what a person can do and not what they say they can do. They don't like what-if scenarios. New Zealanders want facts and figures. They can do without emotions and a lot of feeling and that type of thing when having meetings with them. They don't appreciate high-pressure tactics. They like demonstrations, so if you have a product or can demonstrate, that would go over real well with them. And they like people who can keep their promises. When doing business in New Zealand, you want to show up a little early for a meeting. You definitely don't want to be late. Punctuality is a big deal to New Zealanders. In New Zealand, December and January are summer vacation months. So you want to definitely avoid trying to schedule meetings during that time of year, as it may be difficult to get someone's time. Corruption is perceived as almost non-existent in New Zealand. New Zealand is actually ranked #1 out of 163 countries in Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index for 2006. New Zealand is renowned for its efforts to ensure transparent, competitive, and corrupt-free business. New Zealanders are friendly, outgoing, somewhat reserved initially, yet polite, and enjoy extending hospitality. They are quite easy to get to know as they say hello to strangers and will offer assistance without being asked. They move to a first name basis quickly and shun the use of titles. New Zealanders dress casually but neat, and most restaurants do not have dress codes. Business dress is conservative. Jackets may be removed and shirt sleeves rolled up when working. Greetings are casual, often consisting simply of a handshake and a smile. Never underestimate the value of a smile, as it indicates pleasure at meeting the other person.
New Zealand's economy is about 80.2% free, which makes him the 6th freest economy in the world. In fact, the overall freedom to start, operate, and close a business is strongly protected, and starting a business takes on average 12 days compared to the world's average of 43 days. So because of that, and the fact that New Zealand's level of labor freedom is one of the highest in the world, it's a great place to start a business. New Zealand is most impressive in financial freedom, property rights, and business rights. And New Zealand's current foreign policy goals are to secure bilateral and regional free trade agreements, along with diversifying themselves into industrial goods.
New Zealand's economy has been helped by strong economic relations with Australia. New Zealand and Australia are partners in the Clear Economic Relations, or CER, which allows free trade in goods and most services. Australia is now the destination of 19% of New Zealand's exports, compared to only 14% back in 1983. New Zealand initiated a free trade agreement with Singapore in September 2000, which was extended in 2005 to include Chile and Brunei, and is now known as the P4 Agreement. New Zealand's substantial economic growth has led the unemployment rate to drop from 7.8% in 1999 to 3.4% in late 2006, the lowest rate in nearly 20 years. The large current account deficit, which stood at more than 6.5% of GDP in 2000, has been a constant source of concern for New Zealanders' policymakers, and has now hit 9% to date. The rebound in the export sector is expected to help narrow the deficit to lower levels in the near future. New Zealand remains a great place to do business and invest. A number of U.S. companies have subsidiary branches in New Zealand. Many operate through local agents with some joint venture associations. The American Chamber of Commerce is active in New Zealand with its main office in Auckland and a branch committee in Wellington. New Zealand welcomes and encourages foreign direct investment without discrimination. The market-led economy offers many opportunities for U.S. exporters and investors. Investment opportunities exist in chemicals, food preparation, finance, tourism, and forest products, as well as franchising opportunities. The best sales prospects are for medical equipment, information technology, and consumer goods. On the ag side, the best prospects are for fresh fruit, snack foods, organic and other specialty foods, and soybean meal. A number of U.S. companies have subsidiary branches in New Zealand. Many operate through local agents with some joint venture associations. The American Chamber of Commerce is active in New Zealand with its main office in Auckland and a branch committee in Wellington.
New Zealand's primary trading partners are the U.S., China, Japan, the UK, and of course Australia. New Zealand ranks 5th as an investment destination according to Forbes' Capital Hospitality Report, and the 2006 World Bank case of doing business ranks New Zealand 2nd in the world. One of the biggest advantages of doing business in New Zealand is the fact that they are ranked #1 for being the least corrupt country in 2006 by the International Corruption Perceptions Index.
Tourism is one of the most significant contributors of the economy, contributing 9 cents of GDP. Per Prime Minister Helen Clark, it is the primary sector of the government's attention. Tourism initiatives by Tourism Minister Damien O'Connor and by Prime Minister Helen Clark have resulted in a joint initiative called the New Zealand Tourism Strategy of 2015. This initiative, among other things, includes increasing the average spend by $30 from $130 to $160 per night. The low value of the New Zealand dollar, as well as the scenery, contribute to the overall tourism market. A 14-month low for the New Zealand dollar was 69 cents to the US $1. A 14-month high of 78 cents to the US dollar was experienced in February of 2008.